All right, today I'm going to get a little bit fancy with the ramen noodles. As you can see, I have some organic ramen noodles. Absolute goodness right here. So I bought these organic ramen noodles because I wanted to eat healthier. So I got them, and look inside, there is no seasonation in there. So what I'm going to do is I have to come up with a plan R for ramen noodles. Absolute goodness, if you ask me. So I have the ramen noodles. I have 2 packets out here. I'm kind of hungry, so I'm going to use those. And I have an alternate plan. I have some sauce left over from when I went to a ramen noodle restaurant that I'm going to use in here. So I'm going to unravel the ramen noodle. So here is the ramen noodle sauce in here. All right, so I'm going to get a little bit of creative with the ramen noodle sauce and the ramen noodles. Back there, I have ramen noodle water, or it's water that I'm going to use to boil the ramen noodles and cook them. And here, I am going to use this sauce. And I have water in here because I'm going to add 100% all-American egg to this. I'm going to cook the egg in the water. I'm going to poachify them in this right here. So I'm going to go ahead and crack the egg and allow them to poachify inside of here. Let me turn down the flame. All right, so I'm going to add the egg and allow this to poachify slightly. Maybe I turned down the flame too much, so I'm going to turn the flame up just a little bit, allow them to poachify. Meanwhile, okay, go ahead and add this in here. Turn it up a little bit, about a little bit higher. Turn it to 11. All right, so I'm going to allow this to poachify. Then I'm going to take a spoon and I'm going to spoonify some of the water out here. I added too much agua, which is French. Absolute goodness. So I'm going to take a little bit of the water, or water in French, out of here. Add a little bit too much. I don't want this to be too watered down. All right, so I'm going to take a little bit of the water out of this, and I'm going to allow the water or water to poachify the egg, and then I'm going to add some of this in here. So this is the seasonation, ramen noodle seasonation I got from a ramen noodle restaurant. So I'm going to let that go ahead and poachify. And meanwhile, out in the back burner, I have water boiling. And so I'm going to go ahead and add the ramen noodles without the seasonation in here. So let me go ahead and prep open. Go ahead and zoomify on this. So water boiling right here. Absolute goodness. We have the organic ramen noodles. Organic. And I'm just going to simply take the organic. Look at that. Organic ramen noodles. Drop one in there. Pour the crunchies. I might try a couple of the crunchies and see how they are. Here's the other one. Go ahead and put that in there. And I'm going to cook these organic ramen noodles for about 2 to 3 minutes. Allow them to boilify in there. Whoa, whoa. It's a little boilifying too much. I might have to take some of the water. So let me pour some of the water or water out. Put that right there, allow that to boilify. And meanwhile, I'm going to check up on the ramen noodle sauce right here. Absolute goodness. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and take my fork. Whoa, look at that, what happened there. Goodness gracious. Absolute goodness. I'm going to pour a little bit of water out of this. It's really boilifying really fast. And I'm going to check up on this right here. You see the water is poachifying the ramen noodles perfectly. All right, so I'm gonna heat this up. Heat this up. So look, here's a trick that I've learned. When you have foods that are boilifying a little bit too much, I'm gonna add a little bit of olive oil in there. I wish I had sesame oil, but I don't, so I'm gonna add olive oil. And supposedly, all right, this is boiling too much, boiling over. Absolute goodness though. I'm gonna take that and hopefully oh man, this is looking really good. I'm just gonna stir the ramen noodles up a little bit as they boilify in there. Now the olive oil will help keeping it from boiling over the pot a little bit, I guess. You see, it's not boiling over right now. It's because of the trick that maybe it is. Oh, there it is. It's going back down. Maybe turn the temperature down slightly. And I'm just going to allow that to finish boilifying. Look at this. I'm going to go in. Let me go ahead and change the temperature on that. I'm going to go in. Look at that. See, they're boiling nicely. They should be done in a few minutes. All right, let me change the temperature right here. And I'm trying to cook them to al dente. All right, so get this in here, stir them up slightly. Let them boilify. Probably turn it up maybe a little bit more until they're done. And then I'm gonna cook them to al dente because I'm gonna put them inside of this sauce. And the sauce will permeate the ramen noodles and add a great flavoration to it. All right, so this right here, they're almost poachified in the ramen noodle sauce. The eggs are in here. Absolute goodness. I'm gonna stir. I'm gonna zoom in so you can see what's going on within the pots. Look at that. This is leftover ramen noodle juice that I got from the ramen noodle restaurant. All right, and they're just gonna be cooking and they're almost ready to add the ramen noodles in here so they can permeate the ramen noodles. Absolute goodness. I'll zoom back up to the ramen noodles. Here, before we go up, come up to the screen. I'm not gonna allow you to take a sniff of this. Come up to the screen, smell the ramen noodle juice. All right, smell the ramen noodle juice. Smell the egg. Have a little bite of some food to have over here. I have some greens that I'm gonna have also with the ramen noodles. Right here, I'm actually gonna zoom out while you're smelling that. I have garlic greens right here, which are absolute goodness. I'm gonna try a little bit of this. Look at that, come on the screen, smell the garlic greens. Absolute goodness. Mmm. Mm. All right, I'm gonna turn this off right here. The water should be able to boilerate the rest of the egg in here. Absolute goodness. So I'm gonna go ahead and check up on the ramen noodles to see how well they are cooking, to see how close to al dente they are. And yes, they are quite close to al dente. So what I'm gonna do is, let me try to taste one of these. Get one of these ramen noodles out of here. All right, get this right here. Try this, look at that, ramen noodles, organic. Mmm. Yes, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn that off. Turn the lower one off. So all of these are off. I'm gonna go ahead and strain this. Let me go ahead and bring over this sink so you can see. I'm gonna go ahead and strain this. Let me go ahead and turn this off right here. Now this is an important process. Now you don't want to burn yourself. I'm gonna go ahead and strain the ramen noodles. so I'm gonna go ahead and strain the ramen noodles. I'm gonna go ahead. Strain all the ramen noodles from out of that. Absolute goodness. So once I strain the ramen noodles, I'm gonna go ahead and grab the pot of the ramen noodle juice, and I'm going to pour it all over the top, like right here. Look at the egg in there, and I'm gonna let it sit for about a minute. And the reason why I'm gonna let this sit is so that the ramen noodle juice can permeate the noodles and the egg a little bit more. Well, look at that. Come up to the screen. Come up to the screen. Smell this. All right. Come up to the screen. I want you to come up to the screen and smell this. Ramen noodles, organic ramen noodles, and ramen noodle juice broth with egg. Absolute goodness, if you ask me. Absolute goodness.